is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know in the chat if this sound is coming over to you. I'm streaming from the home studio today. Gotta fix that sound. I heard it coming double out there, but we do have Double Trouble on the show today, joined by Alexo Crypto. What is up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining me.
Happy Halloween, man.
It's a good day. It's a good day. I'm excited to get the kids out there trick-or-treating. I see all the people trying to FUD the holiday just because it's all about candy. It's about Satanism. You know what? My kids like dressing up as princesses and going and getting candy. So
that's it.
I'm excited about it. And I am Where's Waldo today. I see a lot of otters in the chat. Holy God, they are showing out, dude.
That's the gang, man. They're always coming through, man. It's
cool.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. Now, Alexo, I follow your show and your upcoming. You just passed 4,000 subscribers on YouTube today. It was pretty cool to see. I'll pull this up here. See if I can find you on the old YouTubes. Alexo Crypto. There he is. You even got your own intro song, some cool sound, like some rap song.
Now let's go. Yeah, someone actually gifted me that. It was pretty nice of them. So they gifted me that rap song, and I mean, you guys are at 60, 63. That's incredible, man.
I mean, it's kind of crazy how we did it, dude. It's like we had some shorts go absolutely viral. It was like Nick talking about Bitcoin mining with like the solo miner, and everyone just got so mad about the idea of making a Bitcoin block out of a small little mining system. It went crazy. It hit like, I think a total of like 30 million views. Wow. And then we, talk trash about Coinbase and what was the other one? Liquid Death, just random shorts, you know what I mean? But we have the good base level of people that have been supporting us from the ground up. And it's really cool to see your channel, really thriving while the attention's not even here. Like you hit this 4,000 level, you're building it from the ground up. And Alexo, you are trading quite a bit. And I really like your you based outlook and approach to Bitcoin trading. You're looking at it early in the morning, and early in the morning today, we experienced extreme violence on Bitcoin's price chart. My God, I'll show my screen here, but look at this. These are like 15-minute candles, just a quick ride to hell. Basically 72,300 we were trying to hold. Sure, we were jackknifing up and down here. And now we are sitting here, we sliced right through this $71,000 shelf that we had previously built. And someone asked me on Twitter, is this health on a shelf? I'd say this is Hellscape 1.0. I think we sliced right through that bad boy. Not sure if we're going to be able to hold this line, but very curious on your thoughts on where this market is going to find its equilibrium right now, man. Like, what are you seeing on your charts here?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been quite a morning, right? So like this morning, obviously we're favoring longs, and we got stopped out early on, but I'm looking to reset down here. Like, yes, we've come and grabbed liquidity throughout this area and here, but there's still like, this has been up only for quite a bit. And any healthy retracement, like if we're looking at this in general right now, we are actually at like a key bounce level being the 382 right now. So when you see this aggressive move, we saw it over here as well on the way up. So we had like a 382 bounce over here, which, to me, a 382 bounce is very aggressive, suggesting continuation, like quite aggressively. And now we're currently doing that again up at all-time highs. So for me, I have a couple of buy levels that I wanted to bring to your community of where I'm looking to ladder into a potential swing long to try and get back to all-time highs. It's kind of funny how they didn't give us that 74. If you don't agree with me,
just under it, under it, edging us. Oh my God,
complete edge job, right? So
it's ridiculous.
Coming back down here. So initially, right now, looking for a bounce, but whenever I'm looking at price action, a very key play that's always on my mind is retesting previous highs. So if we come back, back down to 69.5, spook at everybody, swing fail, and then we look to ride that back up. But right now, it's like, can we bounce from here? We had a little bit of a spook this morning in the market on the S&P and the NASDAQ rolling over. So to me, it's a buying opportunity, but also to be cautious and wait for, reversal signals.
100%, man. And, it's like, we see, I've been talking to a lot of people from Wall Street and kind of the hedge fund side about Bitcoin dominance, primarily because I hold a lot of altcoins and I'm very, very interested on the Bitcoin dominance side. I'll add this real quick. This has just been a hot and heavy last few months for Bitcoin dominance. Like we went all the way up to about 60.2%. And it really doesn't look like it's slowing down at all. It just seems like it keeps moving up and to the right. Historically, we've had that pullback. Like if I was looking at this from the, let's say, monthly time frame, we have the pullback on a pretty consistent time base, about 231 days from the halving. Then I saw these fall offs on the second halving. Here's the third halving, happens right around there, exactly 231 days, and then bam. Now we're looking just like very, very healthy stairway to heaven for Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion. And it's hard to imagine how high this actually could go with this new variable of the Bitcoin ETFs. You know, I've had some hedge fund managers warn me that this Bitcoin dominance process going up into the right might take us into 2025, say February, March timeframe. Before I get to your question, shout out to Green Day Profits, my man, gifting the memberships, hell yeah, and Blocknest Crypto with the who fuck. I'm gonna have that in the soundboard when I come back to the office. I promise. Isaac has it loaded up and it's ready to go in the office, so we'll have that for you, Blocknest. But on this chart, you know, maybe I could show what you're looking at on Bitcoin dominance. When the hell is this thing going to calm down? Because I was looking for early December until a lot of these hedge fund leaders were warning me that we might have to wait till 2025 to really see this pull back.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with them, but like with the ETF inflows, like how can Bitcoin not be dominant in this market, especially when I think like when I look left and right, I see everybody like retail is pretty broke right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at previous cycles, like Ben Cowan called this obviously, and shout outs to him, but we have clearly just like rejected off our golden pocket from before. So we're there again, right? We're there again at the 60% mark. You know, there's a lot of dilution in comparison to before. And we have like, you know, everybody who is kind of participating are going into like meme coins we see this season. Mm-hmm. So literally like this is a beautiful uptrend as you said, like that stair climb. But if we don't get that kind of rotation where we're breaking down, you know, we even get a retest in the previous cycle. So I'd like to think that we're over here. Mm-hmm. However, right, with that rotation of capital into high, medium, and low cap altcoins, like it's going to take time, and we're going to have to wait for weakness. I think that's the key. When we start to see, you know, we could see a sharp reversal like this, but it doesn't really, like if you go and back test altcoins, it doesn't really take off until you lose significant lows, and then you get these big parabolic blow offs. So I think it's nice to tell the community that you are still relatively early. I mean, we're not buying bear market lows, but you look at total 3 and it's retested bear market highs, right? So it's very good to understand that, hey, there's still lots of time left for us to position ourselves. And, you know, you look at things, we were talking about ADA earlier. I mean, it's basically back to where I bought it in the bear market lows down here. But total 3 is just telling us, hey, we're retesting bear market highs right now, and we're trying to get out, right? And we'll have to wait till the proof is in the pudding, where we actually see, you know, this 60% level. I think we can come up to 63.3-ish area. This is like my be all end all. But if we do start to break down and lose, that's when we look for this like retest, and then we get out, and then we make all that money. And that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Well, I mean, Cardano, top of my mind when it comes to like a true ass altcoin that just does not move unless Bitcoin's starting to have that really bad time frame in the markets, and then the flows start to go to Cardano, things of that nature. And then I see this. Look at this. Charles Hoskinson stole my outfit this morning. Absolutely unreasonable. I can't believe this, Charlie. I cannot believe this. We did. I may as well pull up the price action on Cardano as well, because honestly, getting kind of close to 29 some odd cents, in the 20-cent range. We were talking a little bit about Cardano, me and you, before the show, and it's something that I've felt for a while is going to be a long-standing project just because of its true decentralization. But this is a flat line on price action. It's leaving a lot of things to be wanted out of upside price action. And how I basically played Cardano in the recent past is I was able to get into it around like 30 cents and I got out at 60 cents. Now I've seen the price reset, and this is going on with a lot of different altcoins. We see like a massive price reset going on pretty much across the board, except for like new base chain or Solana type projects. What is your thoughts on Cardano? Because now we have this Bitcoin layer 2 angle that Charlie is going after. We have a cult following for Cardano out there that are not going to sell. This looks like 30 cents is where the retail lives on Cardano. So what are your thoughts? How are you approaching this project? Because I mean, it's driving a lot of people crazy and people want to know. I've been on the outside looking in for a while, and I want your opinion about it, because I feel like when someone comes to me and they just must have it, it's like I can say it's probably going to be around in 2030, but it's probably not going to be the sexiest price action. So, I mean, how are you approaching this situation right now, man? Oh, I think you're muted. Let me unmute you.
I just actually recently sold my Cardano and swapped it for Sui. So all ADA haters are going to be out there.
You swapped it for Sui?
I swapped it for Sui at $1.60,
my God.
Man.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Since then, Sui's up to $2.10. So I mean, and for me, like if we look at my chart, I bought on FTX collapse. Like I bought at 22 cents, and then I've round tripped it. And to understand Cardano is to understand patience. We know that it'll do like this consolidation and drag its behind, and then boom, right, and then boom. And for me, round tripping something is something I'm trying to get rid of. So taking profits is key. So now that we're stair stepping down, like this tends to want to bore us out again, right? So looking at Cardano, it's got a lot of work to do, right? Like to reclaim that 45-ish cents is going to be like the first big obstacle. But when it moves, just jump on the train. I think it's fun to trade in the sense when it does stuff like this, because it's really up only. Like it's very like not really coming back and getting you. You just press buy on the breakout and you can make an astronomical amount of percentages on your gains. But for me right now, as a long-term hold, I do believe it has longevity. It's like a link that can last a couple of cycles. I do believe links like that too.
Yeah.
But if I want to make money on this run, I'm trying to place my bets on those thoroughbreds, those, because for me, I'm very much Bitcoin heavy in my portfolio, and then I'll take a little bit of risk to kind of reallocate back into Bitcoin at the end of the cycle. So for me, I swapped right here for Sui at $1.60, and so far it's paying off. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, Sui has been taking the show. It's been taking the show by storm, and there is a lot of other projects. I may as well, since we're talking about Sui, I have a lot of DeFi Llama data and TVL stuff to look at today. I want to pull up and check out where Sui's TVL is sitting right now. Let's pull this up, swap to this. So let's see here. What we got? We got total value locked coming up just at about $1 billion if this little llama is ever going to load. I got quite a few different tabs, as you can see. Might have to refresh this bad boy. Let's see what we got. Come on, baby. Because I like comparing the volume, the TVL, and the price to it. I know it's been up and to the right. It's pretty clear. When you see, this is an interesting, it's Artemis Terminal. And Solana has been the main winner on the total net flow. Base secondary winner, and Sui with a very, very fast move to number 3 in total net flows. And then you go down the chain. I mean, you got a couple that are in the green. Ethereum. Everyone says Ethereum is going to die. I disagree with that. I just think that it's going to have a little bit less. Let's get your opinion on this, because we see some new aggressive net flows coming in from major projects. Ethereum, the second biggest crypto out there, but it is lagging in these net flows. But a lot of the layer 2s are built on Ethereum, but their fees are very minimal. Like base is nothing for a fee. Is your idea of Ethereum not make, like, a lot of people talk about Ethereum's just for sure going to $10,000? I've said it from a while ago that I'm kind of looking for a top around 8K. What do you
like
think?
That?
Where is the top for you in your mind? Like,
so for me, like, I love Ethereum. I think it's going to, I believe it's going to run to at least 8K. So if we're looking at general take profits, like, I suggest everybody goes through and sets alarms, right? So I have alarms set, but like you said, 8K is my ideal area. So what do I want to do? I want to front run retail. So I have an alarm at 77365. So that would be my out on Ethereum. And I do hold about 40 ETH. So for me, it's like, I would like to see this. And this chart's absolutely beautiful. You can see it's just, even if we do revisit that 2100, which would be, you know, pretty devastating for people, right? But I mean, if you're accumulating in the bear market, I mean, Larry Fink is not going to rug his grandma. I always talk about my Larry Fink grandma charts, right? So that's the ETF here, you know, and you have grandma, you know, call in Larry and be like, Larry, welcome to Ethereum, grandma. You rugged me, Larry, right? You rugged me. And she's bought in, but Larry doesn't want to look bad, right? So we just try to keep it sensible. She's on the phone. I don't think she wants Larry to let this lose support. So I think, you know, keeping that idea of institutional money in this bull run is going to really dictate this run. I do believe Ethereum, you know, an ascending triangle in discoiling up is going to be a hella explosion when it happens. And it did perform pretty well, like in this last couple of weeks. You've seen it push back, and it's starting to bang that door on that 2800 resistance level. And I do believe it's going to perform. Like, if you want an easy play on Ethereum, I think it's Optimism or Arbitrum. I think those are both very undervalued right now. Yeah, where you can look to take advantage. Optimism and Arbitrum.
Let's check it out. You got it up here. So this is absolutely. OP. I was talking to Isaac this morning about OP because he was wanting to compare Optimism's potential to Aerodrome's potential.
Ooh.
Both of them are very, very hard to call. Like, I've been comparing Aerodrome's velocity to what Uniswap had going for it last cycle. Just because of the overall flows that we see on, you know, this right here, base number 2. And Aerodrome is absorbing like 70 or 80% of all of the volume happening on base, moving through Aerodrome. So that's why I was feeling like, you know, $20 to $30 billion market cap for Aerodrome. Not crazy for me to look out for, but OP, it's been kind of sleepy price wise. What are your thoughts? You got this OP chart up here. What are your thoughts on what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so OP revisiting, you know, those bear market lows and stuff like that, but you can see it rips exactly just the same as ADO. It's kind of a sleeper, just the same as Arbitrum. The thing with Aerodrome, which I do believe it has a lot of influencer kind of impact where people are talking about it more, right? So I do believe OP just did a recent deal that was pretty big. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
it was Kraken.
That was
Kraken layer 2 is running on OP as well, and then base chain's running on OP Superstack as well. So
there we are.
It's taken over a lot of the underlayments of these big winners. So, you know,
I think they're sleeping giants.
It really does feel that way. Where's the market cap on this bad boy sitting right now?
For OP, I'd have to pull that out.
Yeah, let's look at that real quick. I'll pull it up on my side here because I think that, you know, I think OP is actually slated to outpace Arbitrum. I do feel that way. Market cap sitting here at $2 billion. And something comparable as far as vibes wise that I get out of OP is what Polygon was.
Yes. They shouldn't have rebranded, man. I think that was detrimental.
Yeah.
I sold my Matic at 70 cents as soon as they started talking about that.
Matic was one of my best movers, man. Last cycle.
One of my biggest holders too. Yeah.
I got this thing for like 3 or 4 cents or something like that.
Sheesh.
Something stupid. Oh, this
That's
is the new
incredible.
chart. And I got, well, the best part was I actually sold it at, I sold it in the $2 range. So let's see here.
Oh, that's incredible, man. See, don't marry your bags, right?
Yeah, no, I never look, and I didn't look back. I didn't reaccumulate it, which I'm really glad I didn't. But just looking at the velocity, I mean, it breached up into the 18, $19 billion market cap level. And now that market cap absolutely fallen off of a cliff. I feel like it's been overshadowed by all of the other very effective layer twos, all the excitement and their little business development deals about we're working with Disney and Starbucks and all that stuff that's gone. Like those are just, I felt like just sexy headlines that are rolling out during the accumulation zone, right? If you remember, like it actually performed price wise pretty damn well from all those headlines and that push. When everything else really went to hell, Polygon, it fell down to 39 cents and then went up to $1.50, right? So there was actually a 3x that it was able to show its holders in that time frame. But now looking at the market cap falling off a cliff, it's up against a bunch of really strong competition. I feel just shooting from the hip that OP might be the next Polygon. An OP sitting at a $2 billion market cap right now. Even with token unlocks and a lot of tokens being released into the market, it could be a tangible 8 to 10x from where it's sitting right now. I mean, from what everything I just said is who's the winner, Arbitrum or OP? I think that's what we need to know because those are the two sexy, layer twos in the room.
If we're talking where my money is, it's been in Arbitrum. So right now, I've been buying up Arbitrum on this dip only because I believe that Arbitrum has better TVL than optimism. So I think that's going to play a big role into, use case. So right now I have quite a big bag of Arbitrum. So for me right now, just looking for it's very a similar trade. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just looking for a general, like you said, an 8 to 10x, right? Just trying to run this up. But if we're going back to these highs, like you're already looking at a 3x, like this is easy money, right? If we get that run that we all feel we deserve, I think at this time, I think
it's my money and I want it now. JG went.
That's the one, right? But it's got a bigger growth spurt than optimism right now, sitting at like a 2x back to the highs. So depends on your risk appetite and what you're looking for. I think if you have a profit taking strategy, you can definitely take advantage of both.
I would say, and like the reason why I was feeling a little bit sketched about it is I've been watching the net flows. I mean, you're right. Let's start with this, the good side of it. So I got Arbitrum on DeFi Llama. We're at $2.4 billion in total value locked. And in the, let's see here, I think it's the blue section is the total value locked. And then the price comes in. And this is the early speculation on what it will be, push the price above the TVL. Now it's found that equilibrium has seen a little bit of a haircut in this realm. But the overall net flows definitely coming into the negative. So that's what's making me a little bit wary. And really, with the main one that I've been focused on is just the Solana and base ecosystems and SWI. I was in on like the test net for SWI. I told everyone about SWI before it was even a token release. SWI, I want your opinion on too. We're talking about some fast horses in the race because like this thing released, it was at about $1.40 when it released. And now it's got all the hype going for it. Now it's at $2. We did see an early sell-off. And as the token schedule is right now, we should be seeing about half of the supply in circulation by mid 2025. Currently, it's at a 2.7 out of 10 billion. By the release schedule, it should land about 5 billion tokens out on the market, but it is up to the discrepancy of the chain for network stability reasons. They could release the entire setup of it. SWI's another one that I'm aiming in the $15 to $20 billion range for market cap. But you know, where's your top on? I mean, what are you looking at for SWI? I guess I'm getting stuck on this one because it released at $1.40. It fell down to 38 cents. Everyone said it's stupid, it's retarded. Now everyone's like, this is the next Solana because you're here. And you really, I mean, you went from 50 cents to $2. That's awesome. It's like a 3 or 4x. But, you know, do you think that SWI has a potentially higher or lower potential than what I'm looking at on the just fundamentals and kind of the hype side of it?
Yeah, so for me on SUI, like it's very simple. I try to keep it simple. Like this is where I swapped for ADA, and that was just an easy retest. So it was actually a really good buy. We don't always nail them like that all the time, but this was pretty sweet. But right now, like breaking structure to the upside here on this 4 hour, this is continuing to show strength. Like even this morning, I gave a signal on the Discord for long off the lows here. Like anytime you find established support on SUI, just seems to bounce quite nicely off of it. But long term, like I honestly, I did some research, I watched some videos, price prediction videos, and people are like $26 SUI, like $48 SUI, and like those people can you know, I don't know. I don't have.
They're gonna ride their bags. They're gonna ride the bags, man.
I got no words for those kind of people, man. But for me, a reasonable move to like $4, $5 is very much in the cards, I think, for SUI. And then anything plus that, like I'll be taking with altcoins. Like it's very much like I'll throw a fib on it and I'll be like laddering out. So I'll get a 25% here, 25% here, and then we got a moon bag on the go, right?
Absolutely.
And then we're laughing, right? And we've paid ourselves. So I'm trying my best to ride the narrative. There's a nice cup and handle. Everybody loves drawing cup and handles recently, so why don't we? And we can have a nice cup and handle to the upside. So
well, and then something that you mentioned right when you were starting to pull it up is that violent resurgence that SWI had when it fell down real quick at the kind of the handle of this cup. It fell to like $1.60 in a very, very quick fashion, but since has resurged with insane velocity.
Yeah, 30% back up.
That's an incredible sign of strength for me looking at an ecosystem from the outside in. That's why I've been excited to look at not only SWI, but the ecosystem under it, the things that are, you know, kind of like the DEX plays, the meme coins, the chaos within the chain that's doing really, really good. So I'm glad to kind of dig into this one. And your $5 target, I'm sitting here like maybe $8-10, hyper bullish situation where they don't release a ton of tokens, which I doubt. I actually do feel like they're going to release more tokens than people expect, but they'll still be able to accomplish near $10 with that into a bullish situation. So
I also like when there's like big creators behind projects. So this is very Raoul Paul. He loves this token. Just like an injective Mark Cuban. Like you get these guys who are out there talking about this stuff to their big buddies, you know. And the thing is to understand that they're talking about this to their big buddies, so you don't want to be exit liquidity for them too. So that's why for me, I'm always like, set your target low, take some profits in, and if it goes, it goes, right? I think that's so important.
And I really liked what you said about the 25% out technique, because that's absolutely something that I have done in the past that's worked, and it's what I plan to do into 2025. I am not riding my bag into 2026. I don't know about you, but I'm getting out. You know, and really, I am going to be laddering out by 25% each month, starting around the end of summer. And that's just from how the velocity of the market looks right now. But I guess we're covered a lot of stuff here, which is actually kind of feels really cool. Your exit plan. How do you plan to exit your positions once you've seen things? And what is that trigger? You know what I mean? What is the trigger where you're like, all right, I've hit my price target. I'm ready to start taking profits. And then do you leave any on the table? You know, do you leave any moon bags laying around?
So for me, we can jump into it over here. So I have a take profit chart, kind of my like long-term plan if I go over here, and how I plan on kind of exiting the market. For me, I'm always going to keep at least a Bitcoin for my wife and my son, my newborn son. So they're they're most important. So they'll always have a Bitcoin, and that's kind of the plan there. But timing and prices and areas that I am looking at for my take profit. Let's go ahead on a weekly here, and we'll go over to my moon chart, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. I want to get here. The really, big juice.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, you got to have a plan, right? And if you don't have a plan, get one. Like, go, as you guys seen, like I clearly have alarms set at key levels. As soon as those levels get hit, I'm going and I'm selling, right? I don't plan on holding anything besides at least 2 Bitcoin going into the next cycle. Like, if this is going to repeat, right? So we've had a lot going on, right? So every time there's a catalyst, and we've stayed flat through all of these catalysts. Now, obviously, the big doozy coming up is this U.S. election, which is going to be absolute entertainment value for Canadians.
Hold on, dude. This is breaking. A pro-Trumper just assaulted a little kid. Okay, I mean, this just broke. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but holy God, a pro-Trumper out there just beating children. Sorry, I just had to interject. Carry on.
We're gonna pull up in garbage trucks for him.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, man. Now I can be a trash panda for Halloween. I should have been a trash panda for Halloween, but it's what it
is. That's it, man. So yeah, from having to the end of cycle is typically 40 to 80 weeks. If we look at any previous halving, that is how it works, right? So you can see all of this falls in 40 to 80 weeks, okay? Every one of them. So you should be on high alert 40 to 80 weeks, whether it's going to be an early top or a second top like previous ones. You should be on high alert as we get into these months, which is between January and all the way to November, right? So depending on how this cycle goes, you should be prepared here for any sort of take profit strategies. And also, my real line in the sand is if we lose 45,000. If we lose 45,000, then I'm going to look to ladder out as well. Okay, I want to mitigate my risks that way. That doesn't mean that we can't have, you know, a flash crash like we had from before that we won't talk about. But, you know, if we do get something like that, then, you know, buying opportunity, if anything, right? Because we look for the market to always recover. And U.S. election doesn't, like, of course it matters who wins, but at the end of the day, what happens in a U.S. election is that they stimulate and they print money and they market goes up, right? If we back test every 4 years, I mean, really the Bitcoin design is beautiful how it lands every 4 years for the election, right?
It's incredible. And really, like, Bitcoin is like living in the land of liquidity. Yes. And it just flows with liquidity on like a major scale, which is something really important to keep in mind. And you can't send people to the polls or restart the economy or give it kind of that jolt without the quantitative easing at this point for the Federal Reserve. So, you know, the time frame stuff, we're sitting here with BlackRock, you know, and, you know, obviously the stories about MicroStrategy buying everything coming in. It's hard for me to imagine that BlackRock is going to allow themselves to be out traded by 4-year cycle maxis like you and me. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when we're talking about time frame of the exit, I mean, I like the design. I like the alerts that you got set. So you got your moment where you're getting the hell out of the way around 47K, right? Now, do you have a minimum price level or a time level when it comes to telling you, okay, it's time to start taking profits?
So there's a couple tools I use. Net unrealized profits is one of them. So you look when that peaks, and that's I think they have it on CoinGlass. That's one thing I check, and then you look for MVRV, which is another thing as well. Chain Exposed has a free version. I can share that in your chat right now. And that
drop it.
That's a really good. Chain Exposed has a new poll map that's free. That if you look at that and study that, that will give you net unrealized profits. And when people are in a lot of profits, it's time that the market is kind of over. And also having like people like yourselves in a trading group and just having an ear to the ground, being like, hey man, I'm looking to ladder out here. Why? And you talk about that. And, you know, we do have an edge as a community. But for me right now, it's like, I'm looking at 85 for a stop up. So if we break out here, I'm looking for an 85. Then I'm looking for maximum price. I'm looking for about 143,000 Bitcoin, this 1618 extension level, and I'm probably going to be laddering out at 100, and as we go up from there. So,
and does the election, like who wins the election, affect this kind of price target for you on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I try to keep that simple. If Kamala wins, it's going to dump, then pump, and then Trump will pump, then dump. So it's kind of in my opinion, it'll break even, but you'll get a different reaction either way, and then we'll get the actual move following that, because then there'll be clarity. Like we've been talking about this a lot on the live stream. It's just like it chops right now because there's just uncertainty, right? There's just uncertainty in the market. The markets want certainty. They want to see certainty. So what happens is they chop sideways and they roll over. They'll chop sideways and roll over until they know what's actually going on, and if Kamala's going to take your capital gains, or if Trump's going to pump your fire Gary Gensler or whatever. As long as you guys buy our maple syrup and our lumber and don't tax us on tariffs too much and protect our borders, we're happy up here.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine with Canada. I think we'll be all right with Canada. I got a lot of family up in Fargo, so I'm not too far away from.
You're always welcome up here. It's safe,
all right,
kind of.
My price target is affected in my mind for overall, like the peak of Bitcoin. I feel like if Kamala takes it, we're gonna be stopped around 120K. I feel like with a Trump election, we could get that extra juice only by the narrative of that Bitcoin-backed dollar becoming more mainstream. Speculation is what I'm looking for, that $160,000, $175,000 Bitcoin. And it is something that is in the top of my mind. We will have the initial fear. I think you're dead right about that from Kamala. The initial pump from Trump, but either one of these presidents is going to be dealing with a death spiral for the United States. So, there are some fun things that we can find within this. This is one of the homies of the channel. He's been highlighting this project that I'll show it on the show here real quick. It's Doge on ETH, Department of Government Efficiency. And these are just some of the chaos picks. If we do see Elon Musk take the helm with Trump in this agency, I could absolutely see retarded things like this just absolutely mooning. And even we see ridiculousness like Waldo on ADA. It popped up this morning. I was looking at this chart like all the way down here. People are even finding a way to have fun on ADA. People are finding a way to even Isn't it amazing? And then I've even seen some XRP people that get so sick of the price not moving on the actual token that now they're starting to create pretty funny meme coins, and they're able to move that. XRP has been basically the biggest disappointment of all of crypto, in my opinion, for the last 6 years. Even getting it for 17 cents and selling it at 70 cents felt like a loss for me. It really has. Like, my history goes all the way back to that April moment where someone sneezed in China and the world shut down, and I was able to buy very cheap crypto at 17 cents. And I did get out once I saw these 70-cent moments just getting sold off consistently over the past year and a half. Like, this is when the finalization that secondary sales of XRP were not deemed securities, right? So we're like, woohoo, the switch has been flipped. It's all it's
I remember that.
And the day I was running around, I was like, it's happened. The next few days, just wham, right back down to where you were. It was really kind of an eye-opening moment for me. And ever since then, I've been just warning about this price action. But even within this ridiculous chain, the XRP maxis, they're out there having fun on meme coins, and shout out to them. Shout out to them for out there and just making a move. Now I have a couple other things I want to get through here. We just had Aerodrome's biggest week ever, $5 billion in volume, $4.5 million in fees. This is something that's absolutely lovely for me to see. I got Aerodrome very, very cheap. And I am still of the opinion that this is one of the projects that can breach the $20 to $30 billion market cap range. This is one of my more tangible 30, 40x picks. Just nice to see their movement upwards and onwards with fees and total value locked. Here's the TVL. I just had this kind of pre-populated because you have the TVL here, let's undo all these. And this is just the flatline TVL on the red. And then you have token price right there in the purple. It's actually lagging behind the TVL. A lot of opportunity to be found by this token and the market cap as well here in the green. So I'm seeing a lot of opportunity here just on the metric side. Near protocol, this is another one I have a big bag of. It's something just, I'm flooding my own bags here. I like to do it as often as possible. The TVL got cut in half damn near. Hobus brought it up to me earlier this morning. We did see this really when the bear market started to take hold of our souls right there. TVL got cut. Now it recently has done the same thing. Near has great things going for it. Like me and my buddy Hobus talk about the user interface for Near is awesome. It has potential to really have a big upswing from the AI narrative, but the price has not dumped yet after this TVL outflow. So some really weird things are going on with Near protocol right now. Kind of in the realm of Solana auxiliary plays, I did see this Jupiter with its let's just take a look at the TVL first, just straight up and to the right. The Jupe price getting a little bit of a jackknife. So you got this early speculation, and then you have kind of like this big. Honestly, I am pretty excited about seeing this kind of rounding, this kind of cup pattern in comparison to the TVL on Jupiter. On Solana auxiliary plays, Alex, do you have any kind of auxiliary plays within the Solana ecosystem you're looking at?
I have not, actually. Okay. So Solana, I have stayed away from Solana. Like, for me, it's like, really? Yeah. And like a lot of, like, I bought just Solana by itself at $71 on the breakout, and that was the last time I've touched Solana, and it's up now, right? Like I've dropped 10 grand on it, but for me, the plays on Solana for me are a bit sketchy, and I've just tried to stay away from them. But I mean, it's showing strength. But is it because of the meme coins, or is it because of use case, right? And I don't think that's the reason why I was saying like I'm so bullish on ETH, is because if Wall Street's coming in, they don't want something that turns off, right? They want something that can be trusted. And like a barrier to entry for expensive gas fees, in my opinion, is not something that bothers Wall Street. If anything, they would welcome that, where it's like, hey man, if you want to pay to play, you got to pay to play kind of deal. So that's kind of been my thesis going through this. And I mean, I got some exposure to say that I'm part of the Solana train, right? But it's also like, for me, I'm more looking for the security that I think ETH brings to my portfolio versus any kind of Solana plays. And that's why I've gone heavy on Arbitrum as well.
And you got a very reasonable approach, but the markets move the opposite of what you're talking about. Like every time this thing went down from high users, it pumped. It was the most retarded shit we've ever seen. And it just kind of is what it is. This is where the degens are degenning out. The worst thing that I see on Solana is just that the market cap is breaching the price. But other than that, man, like I wasn't really horribly excited about Solana. Like everyone was asking me to say it was going to zero when it was at $8. And I was like, no, this is where degens live. They have all their little NFTs and random weird things on Solana. So I never could say that it could go to zero, even though I wanted to. I was like, they're not going to leave this chain. It's fast. It's cheap for them. They don't care if it stops working. It's like the McDonald's ice cream machine. You still like a week later, you have someone asking for the ice cream. But yeah, on
it's Solana, a great new person to trade coin. Like I always suggest to learn how to trade Solana for anyone who's new, because it's simply like it does follow like market structure and support and resistance like so well. Like the way Solana trades, if you look at this is basic support and resistance. So it'll bounce, it'll move up, it'll bounce, it'll move up, it'll hit key levels. And it constantly, like, whenever I try to explain it to a new trader, it's like a patience game, but the key levels work. So you'll bounce off here, you'll consolidate, then you'll move up, then you'll consolidate, then you'll move down. So you just got to wait for the consolidations, and then you get the actual moves. And as long as you get direction correct, it's really actually easy to trade Solana. Where look at how how well it does respect, just key levels throughout this range, and it has absolutely been respecting that. So it's very easy. New trader, beginner friendly coin that I would always suggest if you are looking for something that moves a little bit more aggressively than Bitcoin, right? If you want to dabble into something, I always suggest Solana. Man.
Well, and this brings me, we have some kind of sketchy things going on. Today is October 31st, and one of the darlings of the accumulation market. Okay, this is Celestia. TIA token.
I own a lot of TIA, man.
Dude, I mean, and I got in at, $2. I sold at like $10. I haven't gotten back into the project. I was just kind of getting out before this unlock happened. Now the unlock has indeed happened. Quite a bit of tokens just got released onto the market. Let's check out the price, see if it's doing all right here. Because I know a lot of folks like this project. It's not really hurting too bad, which is kind of a really good sign in light of the market pullback. Now, are you holding TIA currently?
Yep. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this project? Are you staking it too? Okay.
I think it solves, it's the blockchain communicator, right? It's that payment communicator thing. It does something that not a lot of other things do. And I was talking to another analyst about it. And have you looked into the creator of TIA? He's like a crazy hacker, like wild, man. It's so cool. He was
like with the CIA or something, meeting up with the
like
NSA. Really weird background.
Really cool, man. So I don't know. I think there's a smart person at the helm. I do believe it has good staking. We're currently long on it from just now at $4.60.
Okay.
Looking at this setup yesterday, but right now in a very much accumulation zone, just like a lot of things, right? So if you're a fan of YOFF, which I'm not big on YOFF, but you're typically looking for the 3 touches and then the breakout, right? And for me right now, even with the unlocks, it's showing strengths, right? Like I did have this area down here that I was interested in, but it did hold strong right now. So currently looking for this thing to continue up, but overall, I do believe that this has definitely had like a lot of potential, right? From where we are now, it's the same kind of deal. We're 4x from the highs. So, I mean, great sell on your part. I think that's incredible.
But I mean, I don't know. It met that threshold of like a 5x. It wasn't anything like I was using wizardry. I was like, this is, it was $1 a few months ago. Now each dollar's worth 5, and I need this. I wanted the money. I take a lot of profits consistently, and I'm always rolling it into my house. What we did with the money is like build a sewing shop, and then I bought a new vehicle because I got so many dang kids.
Amazing.
So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I did that with some profits too. I bought a new vehicle for the kids as well.
You got to do it sometimes. It just is what it is, man. Now some opportunity zone things I'm seeing, like let's see, I'll add this to the stage. So here's Aerodrome. Token price still nice and under that. Total value locked. This we already went over this guy. Jupiter, we went over this. Ondo Finance. Okay, so a lot of people fudding Ondo. TVL is still really high in comparison to the price on Ondo. And we really haven't had that hardcore conversation hit CNBC from Larry Fink about exactly what they're going to be doing with tokenization of assets. Like us crypto bros, we know. He's like, he's tokenization of assets. We know what he's saying. The rest of the world doesn't know what he's saying yet.
No clue.
So, Ondo, I'm holding a bag of it. And, I was talking to Hobus. Hobus is getting worried about being overexposed to it. Me, myself, like it's maybe 5% of my portfolio. I'm going to let it ride. It still looks like a decent positioning and narrative for it. Another one that has kind of really been fun to watch is Moonwell. This is a DeFi play on Base. It's been found, though. It has been discovered.
Yeah, lots of talk about that lately.
Absolutely. So, this is one I am looking for a haircut on, and basically aiming for this previous high and this kind of midterm low on the TVL. I think that we could find an equilibrium on price in that realm. I feel good about Moonwell and Aerodrome and all these auxiliary base plays, but I don't like to FOMO in to extreme up into the right price action. You know what I mean? That's just how I found I've got wrecked last time doing that. You know what I mean? Just listening to some person on the internet talking about this token. I'm like, oh my God, they said a new token. I'm going in, I'm buying it. And then I look at my portfolio a month later and it's 75% down because all the attention comes to it after it's been discovered. And I think it was Jay or someone in our chat that brought up Moonwell months ago. I feel like it's been a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. So, I mean, if you're listening early on these things, Moonwell has definitely done well. And the whole well thing, I don't know about this whole, and it's also Safe Moon. I have like PTSD from Safe Moon, I guess. But overall, this thing has definitely been up into the right over the past month or two. So, looking for just some calm equilibrium to be found on this before I hammer it into it. But it's a pretty good looker. You know, other things I get a quick shout out to the meme coins that aren't rugging people. This is Bobcat. This is like a really organic meme coin. It's a tiny ass market cap. Basically I told them I barely didn't hate them when they were initially launched because they didn't get mev botted. You don't see that Solana massive bot death candle that you see on most of these things. So it seems like it's kind of turned it into a cult over there. So shout out to Bobcat. But do you mess with any meme coins, or is it all strictly just kind of a hardcore TA and kind of bigger projects like blue chips?
So like I will go if I see a level, like for me, I'll flip through on all my memes. Like I have a meme, I guess it would be the healthy meme playlist, like of YOFF, Shiba, Pepe, Myro, Floki, Doge, Bonk, Boom, Popcat. Popcat's done really well. And I'll go and I'll put like 10 grand spot on one of these if it's at a key level where I'm looking for a balance, and that's cool. And then I'll take whatever 20% it gives me, and then I'm out. I'm very selective with my meme coins. It's a play. I think you're right to note that, you know, learning from getting in and then something absolutely dipping on you is such a lesson to be learned. But with community and with TA, we have an edge where we can like look to get in at cheaper prices, right? And I do that with spot bags, but I will never like degen leverage trade any kind of meme coin.
That's like a quick way to hell right there. Yeah, that's destruction zone right there. I'd really like it's so sad to see people's money just going into a dumpster fire on
it vaporizes.
They'll buy the top of Popcat and then it'll get vaporized to the bottom. They'll sell it low. It's just about, you know, I feel like Solana is almost becoming like deflationary. If they keep pumping out thousands of meme coins with locked liquidity. Me and Taco were talking about this months ago. Like you see 5,000-10,000 projects come out a day and the liquidity is locked. It's almost like this weird backwards deflationary token burn type thing that's going on Solana, which is a really weird aspect I didn't see coming. But yeah, I'm not too wrapped up on meme coins. The only one I hold a Trump token all the way up to the election. I'll see where Trump token takes me. We'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? I knew there was something to Trump token. We called it at like $2 million market cap here. So it's been stupid ever since then. You know, I'm feeling good about it right now, but we are heading into a really crazy time in the world. And, you know, I got to show this. The Dodgers won their sports ball game, and immediately, you know, the reports come out, LA chaos erupting. They're burning metro buses and looting, all the looting going on.
Took them like 6 years and a lot of money.
Oh my God, we got someone drinking coffee. I want some coffee.
Melissa, that's a long-term. She's been with my channel for like 3 years. So
shout out to
Melissa.
Absolutely, she's making me want a cup of coffee here. You know, and the other macro stuff we got. Linemen are on strike now in North Carolina, not being paid for 8 weeks by FEMA. This is super unfortunate to see for the people that got impacted by the Hurricane Helene. Of course, FEMA not coming through, right? We pay all these tax dollars for these wonderful government organizations to keep us safe, right? And they can't even pay the linemen. It's just so crazy. Amazon earnings. Brutal. You saw this. How do you think Meta earnings are going to be? Aren't the Meta earnings at the end of today?
I think they are. Let me double check. But
because I'm curious about how Meta is going to be doing.
I bet you they're not doing too well. I bet you they're not doing too well.
It's just my gut reaction. It's like Meta and
Apple
Amazon,
today.
Apple as well. Apple's been dethroned by Nvidia as the top market cap stock at this point. It's this AI craze. I guess we're at the latter part of the show here. I am of the opinion we're in a AI craze, a hype cycle. Now it's about how long it lasts, in my opinion. We saw a little bit of concern about the third largest Nvidia buyer, which is SMCI. Yesterday, their auditor, Ernest Young, stepped away because they weren't willing to represent the books. Basically, SMCI looks like they've been cooking the books. Now, I was talking to Hobus about it. Thankfully, NVIDIA has already been paid for their product. It's more about everything else that's going on with SMCI. That's kind of the problem within that. But do you feel like the NVIDIA hype cycle will just keep going up and to the right? Is this a new paradigm where all stocks have to move to, or will there be a .com bubble 2.0 moment for NVIDIA at some point this next few years here?
I think the AI cycle is going to continue for basically infinity. Everything I think needs to get on board with it, but I do believe that there will be a big correction in about a year and a half. I'm very much in that. I believe the real estate cycle comes to an end at the end of next year, which is like a 18-year cycle. So I do believe there's going to be a big flush out after this bull run. So I'm trying to prepare for that as best as possible. For me, I think the AI thing is here to stay. I have heavy positions in Render and BitTensor as well.
Okay, there you go.
I'm looking for those things to rip.
Absolutely.
I was kind of pissed not selling Render at $12, but you know what?
It happens, man.
It happens, man. So
dude, those are both total basement loves too. I mean, we've been loving on those projects for a while. Everyone thought I was an idiot for talking about Tau back when it was like $40. Now,
I got Render sub $3, and like I was just like, what am I doing? Dropped a big bag too on it. So I'm like, okay, we're back to up 50%.
Absolutely. I want your TA on Tau, because for me, like watching Tau, BitTensor Tau's upswing, it has a couple just giga bullish things going for it, like Grayscale and Barry Silbert behind Grayscale in the digital currency group. They are getting all of their irons to the fire when it comes to shilling and talking about BitTensor Tau into the bull market. So I think that's going to give some extra legs to it, especially with the Grayscale Trust, the basket of AI goods. What do you see for BitTensor Tau here?
BitTensor is a beautiful chart. So like we took the long on the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders. Like this was like so easy, man. This was such easy money. It was ridiculous on this breakout here. So that was gonzo. But right now, like understanding that, hey, we have some work to do to get above this. I think the only kind of like thing that psychologically people look at this and they're like, oh, I can get like 2 tokens for $1,000 right now. Like, what is that? Right? Because the price is steep. But I think people need to get over that. Like, look at Pepe and 0.0000. This is a lot easier to read. That's how I like to look at. But right now we've all the way up to the value area high of this range. So retesting 380 is not out of the books. Like I think that's where if we're looking to accumulate, right, I would just go from swing low to swing high. Look at that golden pocket coming in there at 388, 400. So if we do roll over a little bit, which I do expect to happen, a little bit of a rollover, especially with Bitcoin dominance coming in as it is, right? We can look to accumulate in this area down here. I would say between 400 and 450 would be an ideal area where I'd look to accumulate. But chart's beautiful, man. Like very, very constructive where, you have clear downward structure. You put in sort of a spring here, you bounce out. And right now you can see the topping. Very similar to Bitcoin. I always suggest when you're looking at something like this, just put a trend like this, put an alarm on it. So then you know that it's starting to, maybe break, and then you can look for that second higher low and get on the gravy train, because I do believe this thing is going to do really well.
Well, that's some extreme confluence from what I'm looking at, dude, because it was just such a fast ride up from that 370 to when we breached over 500, 490 bucks. So my next buy point is essentially at 425, maybe 400 bucks. Really is what I'm expecting on that pullback. So very, very nice. That's my hillbilly TA meeting with your fancy Fibonacci's and all the other confluence. So it's very cool to compare and contrast that. Crypto Stevo giving you some guff here because render on Solana. So you do have one of those Solana shit coins. Look at that. Got him. Got him.
Baited.
Oh man, I love it.
Oh man, they swapped to Solana.
Oh man. This is so
I love
funny.
it.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, we just have a really good time in the markets, I think, still. I'm feeling good about everything, even despite the Bitcoin pullback here. Nothing's up into the right only. What is Bitcoin doing? Are we still sitting here right around 70,500 bucks? It's trying to hold it.
It's trying to hold, man. That 382 looking to hold, man. I'm looking to ladder into a long here. If we get another swing failure pattern to the downside, I might jump in. We'll see.
Okay. Love it, dude. See. Absolutely love it. Well, man, Alex, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. When I come, I don't know how deep into Canada you are, but when I get to Fargo, maybe I'll be hitting you up, trying to hang out or something.
Yeah, man, for sure. We got to have you on our show too.
Absolutely.
I'll get that set up.
I would love to join you, man. And make sure everyone, if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to Alex's YouTube channel here at Alexo Crypto. It's just Alexo Crypto on YouTube. He just broke over 4,000 subscribers. Great dude, family focused dude. He's got a great community, and an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you, man. So I really appreciate it. I hope we can do this again. I'm definitely coming on your show.
Absolutely, man.
And maybe next time we're gonna debate and argue about guns. Okay, because first of all, I see you got some kind of wheel gun on your shoulder there, on your chest. Unbelievable.
We're moose hunters.
Well, I appreciate you joining, brother, and I'll be seeing you real soon. Take care.
Take care.